So diversity, equity, and inclusion is a hot topic right now. It's culturally relevant, it's important, and it needs to be addressed. And a lot of people are wondering how to implement DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, within the workplace. And in this video, I just want to share some ways that I believe could be great ways to integrate diversity, equity, and inclusion within your workplace. Now, one key thing I want to make sure is clear is that, I don't want people to think that diversity, equity, and inclusion is just an HR conversation or HR and company executives. No, it's a conversation for everybody within the company because we're all stakeholders within the entity. So we just need to make sure that everybody is clear around, the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also, more importantly, everybody is taking steps to make sure that, the best practices within diversity, equity, and inclusion are being implemented. Now, the reason why everyone within a company should participate in this is because when a company has good diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, it actually works in the favor of the company because it helps your bottom line, it helps your top line, because everybody within the organization feels that they are accepted, they have a sense of belonging, they feel appreciated, they do not feel marginalized. So it's in everybody's best interest to make sure that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a topic that's discussed, addressed, and implemented within an organization. Now, let's dive into some of the ways that I believe you can implement diversity, equity, and inclusion into the workplace. So the first area I'll start with is recruitment, right? As you're hiring and recruiting new talent within the organization, you want to make sure that within your recruitment process, you're also opening it up to other groups of people that are diverse, so that you're bringing in a diverse talent pool within that interview process to come and qualify for the jobs. What you don't want to do is you just don't want to limit your recruitment process to certain types of people. You want to open it up. Because what you would actually find is that some of those underrepresented groups are actually talented. They actually bring, diversity in ideas, diversity in thinking, and they bring tremendous value. So take a look into your recruitment process to make sure that you are implementing the best practices when it comes to HR and recruitment. The other thing that you also want to make sure you include within that process is you want to make sure that you include questions that make it a level playing field for everybody, and questions that enable you to not give certain groups an advantage over others. So that's the first area that I believe as an organization you need to look into. Now let's move into the next one. The next area that I think as an organization you need to look into is you need to look into how you're communicating your position as an organization with regards to DEI. Sometimes, some companies like to be quiet and not really touch the subject. Well, your silence actually speaks volume. I think it's super important for every organization to showcase within the organization that they embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion, that they want to take efforts to make sure that they integrate it within the organization. So you should definitely think about how you can do this through bringing in speakers who can come in and talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion within your organization. You want to look into how you can get content that people can watch and learn with regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion, because if you start educating your team around the importance of diversity, equity, inclusion, and also start bringing awareness to the topic, you will actually be able to implement a successful program within the organization because you're bringing everybody to the same page. So that's another area within a workplace that I believe everybody needs to work on, is making sure that people within the organization are educated through online courses that are mandatory for people to take, by bringing in subject matter experts who can really help guide and educate the entire team force around DEI. And also make sure that you are also listening within your organization from your team members around that. Which actually leads me to the third point, which is you want to make sure that you have a feedback loop where you're listening and asking questions to your employees to make sure that they're also providing you feedback around areas you can improve on, opportunities that you can take advantage of, but also, things that you could do within the organization to make sure that it's diverse, it's equitable, but more importantly, it's inclusive. Now, the reason why diversity, equity, and inclusion is important is because you find that companies that are more diverse, they get to benefit from diverse thinking, a diverse talent pool, and more importantly, the ability to be, more productive, and you actually generate more money. Why? Because everybody is happy within the organization. You have new and fresh ideas coming from different people, and it actually gives you a competitive edge. And this is not just me, stating something, out of thin air. There's actual research data that shows that companies that are more diverse and equitable than their peers actually generate more in sales, and they're more profitable, but more importantly, they have the ability to retain and attract talent than their competitive peers. So it's actually in your best interest as an organization to be able to implement DEI efforts, because not only will it make your company generate more sales and become more profitable, you'll be able to attract and retain talent. And we all know that recruiting talent is super expensive, and also nobody wants to be losing their A players over a simple matter that you could fix by implementing diversity, equity, and inclusion topics within the organization. So there's plenty to discuss on this topic. I'm going to do more videos around this, but I just wanted to create a quick little video to just share a couple of ideas on some of the best practices that you can implement within your workplace to make sure that you're making your workplace diverse, equitable, and inclusive, because we live in a world that is exactly that. We're a diverse population. We want to make sure that we're all equitable and we're all being included, because we all come from different walks and shapes of life, and at the end of the day, we're all the same because we're all human beings and we're all mankind. So make it a great day, guys, and make sure that you are also thinking about what you can do to contribute to your workplace to make sure that it's diverse, it's equitable, and it's inclusive. Have a good day.